Hello there YouTube, this will be a Yone versus Jax top lane matchup, right? You play it usually in top 10, top 100 challenger, right? Around that area, usually around 1000 LP, so this is generally like really hard, impossible, goddamn, what the hell do I do in this matchup? It's really difficult indeed. And he goes for exhaust apparently, right? He goes for exhaust apparently. I really recommend you to get an exhaust, get an ignite against Jax, because there are many matchups where it's so difficult to even do anything without a summoner spell that gives value in combat. And eventually Jax will outscale him at some point, because he will be of course above usually Yone. So you gotta do something in the early game as well against Jax, right? Otherwise it will get progressively more difficult because Jax even counters most of our allies as well to some level. Okay. As you can see it's challenger rank, right? The Jax has inspiration, lethal tempo with ignite, it means he has usually biscuits and corrupting potion build, right? He starts out with D-Blade. Okay. It's really good to exhaust Jax when he tries to all-in, then like you can turn over the fight. It's more easy to turn over the fight if you exhaust him at the beginning, right? Or run him down if his E is on cooldown, right? Okay. Then the matchup slowly begins, right? There's not much to do, his team is looking to invade, but sadly there isn't really much you can do about it. I mean, they don't really invade. Apparently they couldn't get anything. So the matchup began. He would preferably not even shove because the enemy enemy jungler is around top side, since if he is not showing up on bot side, he's not showing up on Kane's red. It most likely means that he is top side and he could level 3 gank possibly him, right? Or still the enemy red as well, because Kane is vertical clearing, so he will vertical clear as well, and that will put him in an awkward spot, so generally he doesn't want to, yeah. Extremely bad played from his part, right? So usually you wanna do this, right? You wanna get like in and out of Jax's E range, and you want to bait it out, right? I'm gonna draw it with Epic Pen, right? So watch out on his movement, he's constantly trying to bait out the Jax E, right? Okay. Let me show it again with Epic Pen, right? So watch out on his movement, he leans deeper, then he leans outer, he leans deeper again, he leans outer, right? Which means he's trying to bait out Jax's E. Jax's E has something like this range, right? And there are minions as well, of course, right? Which means if he tries to go through them, he will get body blocked and he can catch up to Yone to stun him, right? Even though he has 5 more movement speed, I do believe, than Yone. Yeah. And here he steps up again, watch out on his movement, he steps up, he is in E range, but he is at the end of his E, right? He's right at the end of his E, and now he's trying to bait it out, look. He baited it out, right? He just baited it out, he just turned back and he baited it out. And now he gets no value out of his E. And now he's vulnerable as hell. Because now Yone just automatically wins by autoing and queuing him with little tempo, right? He even tried to get a Q off him. Now the tornado is not bad to have, I assume, but I think he tried to time his Q to his stun, so his stun expires, but he didn't E too early on, so... Now he commits, he fully commits, there is no or maybe he thinks the enemy jungler is around, that's why he gives it a softer approach. Maybe he was afraid of a level 2 gank, right? Because he could fully commit with exhaust, from my personal opinion, right? Now in here I like his Q. Was probably intentional, I feel like it was intentional, right? You can do the same thing against Fiora players if they have W up, right? He bluffed his Q, so from this area he queued, but he queued upwards, not downwards. Maybe he predicted, or he tried to bait it out. So when the enemy Jax sees the Yone Q, he won't like overthink it that where does this Yone Q, because he has a small space which gives him a really low amount of reaction time, right? So he just bluffed his Q, so he baits out the Jaxi, right? Yeah. Or maybe he tried to predict, right? Who knows? Now there's the thing, like Yone's Q knocks up Jax, even if he is, right? That's like really good. Okay. So now he's a bit scared how he plays in here, because Jax gets level 2, he has the stun, the Q, almost point and click stun, right? EQ, and he even eat his E, right? So in here he plays a bit softer because he doesn't know Stringar is mid right now. So in here, watch out what he does. He W's the Jax when he gets on top of him. So if he gets stunned, he's in the animation, and his W animation is not cancelable. So he gets a shield and some damage on Jax, even though he can't auto attack or Q him, right? It's really well played from his part. Even like dodges the E damage with his W shield, right? So extremely well played from his part. Now he's slowly shoving it in, playing around the cooldown of Jax's E. Maybe he's looking to go for a cheesy... Nope. Okay, he tries to lean in a bit. Jax's E is coming back though, which is kind of a bummer right now. Kind of puts him in an awkward spot, because he hasn't got his E anymore, so he tries to get out. He auto-attacks and he holds into his Q, right? And he Qs out. He Qs out of Jax's... so Jax didn't Q on him, he didn't QE on him, because he would just Q out the Yone, right? So it means he wouldn't get value out of his E and Q, right? So he just Qs out right after last hitting it, right? Right after last hitting the cannon, he just Qs out. So he's not in range anymore for Jax, right? So in here, he go tiny bit backwards, right? He gets the CS, right? He has his tornadoes, so Jax doesn't commit. And in here, he picks it up, right? He holds into it, right? If he ever Qs forward, or anywhere, Jax could just all in him, right? So holding into your abilities is really smart, because it has more pressure holding into it than trying just to randomly Q a minion or Jax, right? Because if he ever sidestepped it, he might be dead, Yone, right? Because he had no E. So now his E is coming up, right? His E is coming up in 2 seconds, of course, but the problem is the enemy jungler could hover around him. He doesn't know exactly where he is. He went for in... Oh, his W was a bit early, right? Yeah, his W was a tiny bit early. And here we can see like he W'd, but Jax is quite fast, right? I think he shouldn't even probably... Maybe he tried to go for some type of trade because he thought the enemy jungler is around, so he wanted to go the safe way. But I think it was a bit wasteful to E like that, because then we can't even step up to CS because we don't have E to get out of Jax's EQ, right? That also puts us into an awkward position, but at least he baited out his QE. Which means that now he's free to CS if the enemy jungler is not around by chance. Same as his Q. Now Jax has a lots of mana still, right? Like he has all those like corrupting potions and biscuits and what he has. It means like he can really manage well his mana, even though he uses his abilities quite often. Okay. Then here he slowly pushes, he backs off completely because there's not much he can do against a level 4 Jax with a big wave. He doesn't know where the enemy jungler is, so he just plays it out passively. There is no reason to force right now, right? He's trying to hold the wave, but it's a bit hard. Maybe W the wave? Oh, he can hold it. Perfect. This is a perfect spot for Yone, because now Jax... Oh. Well, the wave got kinda... Wait. I think he could W a bit more properly, no? Like, I think he could then just W downwards and not the whole wave, so it's easier to hold the wave in one spot, no? Yeah, he could, like, W something like this, instead of something like this, right? So the wave doesn't get pushed that hard, right? Because he hit everything in here. He hits Jax, but he hits the wave as well. And I'm like, if he doesn't hit like the whole wave, but he hits Jax and these minions, he would still get the shield to tank some minion hits, and Jax is out. So I think that would be totally fine as well, because there is no reason to hit everything with your W, right? When you're trying to hold a freeze. Or like a slow push at least, right? Now the W kinda pushed the wave a bit, right? Stringar is invading, not much he can do against Jax, sadly, so it's just a sad scenario to be in. Oh yeah. He didn't really ping apparently. He pinged actually twice, his teammates didn't really listen, so he just lets it go. Now he pushes. Pushes because Jax plays with Ignite, right? So Jax can't really just TP, I mean he's even dead, right? So he wants to deny his minions, he wants to get maybe a tower plate, so he gets his Berserker boots. It's up to him if he wants to greed, but I think he has enough, right? He just waits in... Yeah, he has enough apparently. He can get a good recall then. He gets his Zeal or Berserker boots, most likely Berserkers. I like to go actually Zeal against melee matchups, because of the crit attack speed is quite good, but you can also go for Berserker, that's totally fine. So look at his E as well. Not much Yone players I ever seen in my life going for this type of E's that he... Like when you E, your E bounces you a bit backwards from your current location, and which means that you can gain some distance. Like for example, if you're waiting in the base for a few seconds to get an item, then you can just walk out and E back, and then like you can buy an item and just gain distance. So you can use your E, so in the sense that you gain distance towards your lane knight, right? This is not many people I seen on Yone using actually. Like not many people use
Credeai
it.
că ai vacanța sub control? Mai bine lasă-te pe mâna experților de la litoralul românesc.ro.
Now the ad expired. Okay. Turn on camera as well, like a boss. And he goes into a fist fight. I think he could ban Q, the Q flash Q or Q flash W it, no? Hold up. So let's see what happens, right? There's like one issue I don't like. He walks straight up into the lane, and what he should ban though, ideally he should walk something like this. W this try brush in here, right? To check if the enemy jungler is there, then walk downwards or E downwards and ward this bush, and that's like the safest way to proceed against the Rengar. That's in my opinion, right? So he Qs, he Ws, he picks up the minion, he Ws the Jax in his E, so he wins some time. He exhausts, really well played from his part, and now he brute forces an all-in, right? Yeah, like in here I was like, maybe he could ban flash Q, then that would possibly kill, or flash QW, but I guess it didn't really have too much time to... Yeah. So now he's pushing, he's gonna Q flash, look. No, he won't. He's just pushing for level 6 right now, right? He's pushing to stack up his tornado and all that. Now he will probably all in the Jack soon. He's coming up, he goes for a ward. He could also just bounce a ward from this side, you know, into the bush, so Rengar doesn't just jumps on him and all-ins him, and the Rengar could kill him because he had no bomb plating. So in my opinion, that would have less risk than just trying to ward it, right? Because even if Rengar shows up from in here or from this bush, he could just possibly still get a kill on Jax with like ultimate or something, right? Okay. So he could just hide in a bush as well. He doesn't really have to reveal, like just hide in a bush, and maybe Jax will believe he reset that, and he will possibly use his QE on the wave, and then you can all in the Jax. This usually works in lower ranks. In Challenger probably people wouldn't fall for that, but I'm like, if you are gold or something, if you are lower ranked, then you can definitely go for that, because not many people would expect that, right? Okay, he Ws, get some poke on the guy. Chips down a bit his HP. Jax is still level 5, he has no 6, it means he doesn't get armor and magic resist, right? Oh, he's fishing for an all-in, but he biscuited, right? Qs, no he doesn't Qs, he Qs out, he Qs in. Ults, he misses it, okay, it's a bit unfortunate. Okay. Oh, hold up. That's a bit greedy. No, they just collapse on the Jax, right? He's trying to bait out Jax's E, right? He's back, dodges the stun, right? Really well played from his part, and then he just allows his teammates to pick it up. He Q flashes, yeah. Yep, extremely well played from his part. Picks up the Katarina. The Jax, I guess he can chase it, because E is coming up, but I would rather take the wave, huh? Like, Kane is better at running down people with his E than him, right? He goes through walls, he's better at chasing, so I think the King can pick the kill up really easily, right? As a laner, you rather want to push, because Jax is getting chased, Jax will die, Jax has no TP, which means you're gonna take a lots of plates, right? So the more consistent thing is just to not chase him, not even a tiny bit as he did. Let's take the plates. Kane will kill it, you know, Kane has E, like, there is no reason for you to even, like, try, right? From my opinion. Like, definitely if you have a Talon McCain uh, in your team and there's a low HP guy going into the enemy, into your jungle, then definitely they can run it down without you. Now he's recalling under tower, he doesn't go in the bush because it's a faster recall, right? He gets his damage items, he gets his Moonquiver, he gets his longsword. Okay, so it's ahead of Jax with 2 kills, right? Then it becomes a bit easier to play against Jax. Also Jax goes for plated steel caps, he rushed plated steel caps against Yone, which means that basically he will take less damage, Jax, but at the same time I don't think so. Plated steel caps 12% damage reduction affects Yone's Q if you Q through a minion. If you Q to Jax, I think it possibly does, but I'm not 100% sure actually, because there was some... He ults it, right? Again, like, there are so many ways to cancel yourself out of CC with Yone, right? So basically he ulted there, so he's not stuck in a stun, right? So he's in an animation, right? Really important to cancel yourself out of stuns with your ultimate, right? Kinda like a Fiora parry, like you can imagine your E deactivation like a Fiora parry, your ult like a Fiora parry, or even your third Q like a Fiora parry, because they're just not cancelable, right? Okay, he Qs, I don't think so he should Q honestly, but I guess it's fine. Gets the lethal tempo, gets the Q stack up, he misses his, ooh. So that made it, But it was really close compared to Jax, how behind Jax is, but he plays with Ignite, right? The Ignite made it to look a bit close, also he missed accidentally a Q, so if you want to play it safer, you could just wait until your exhaust is up on rotation, then you can fight him, otherwise it will be difficult, right? I thought he just auto-wins it, but apparently Jax has a lot of damage compared to that. He had bomb plating up, he had a level advantage or two, so it's really scuffed, right? He takes 1 or 2 plates, now he resets, just general I think, right? Okay, he picks up his healing item, his vampiric scepter, maybe an armor float. Lifesteal, he goes for lifesteal instead, right? He values more sustain and more crit damage, right? A bit more attack damage as well. Jax has Shin right now, he's level 7. He has exhaust up, but Jax has ult in... Jax's ult has like 80 seconds cooldown. Yone's ult has like 110 or 120, so more than often Jax's ult is up faster than yours. It's really important to keep in mind. Okay, let's see what happens in here. He tries to Q, tries to predict, but apparently Jax didn't move. Jax goes for some trade. So that trade could be avoided as well at the same time. Like, so be careful with one thing against Jax, right? So when he goes for 2 auto attacks on the minion, his third auto will deal extra magical damage, right? It's more important to do it when you're even or behind against him, because he will go in, right? He will just Q in and he will go for a trade with his third auto, right? And here I guess he didn't go for he didn't go for the third auto trade apparently. I thought he actually went for it. He ults, he commits with his but why does he do that? Why does my Jax do that? Obviously he doesn't win that. He wasted his ult, right? He has no ignite, I do believe, from last time, so that's good. He swinged in a W. Just keep pushing. He wants to... Jax has no TP, of course, so he wants to keep push. He heals himself a little bit with his items, of course. Then he stacks up his tornado, forces possibly a dive on Jax, right? But it's a bit sussy. Okay. He ults that, right? Cancels him again out of the animation and he just kills her. It is important to know, like, you always want to ult somebody that CCs you, right? Just Fiora parry it with your own ultimate, right? I guess that shit happens. I guess shit happens. Okay. Okay. Standard thing, he just goes to lane. He doesn't really likes to buy much controllers apparently. I don't really buy too much controllers, but you definitely have to buy controls to have more control over the map control, vision control, right? But you know, some people just don't like it, right? Like I seen even challenger AD carries, they don't like. They just except some people, no matter what rank you are, they either forget or they just don't like to give up like gold for wards instead of buying like items that provide stats, right? Okay. Okay, he W's for the shield, use the minion for healing, right? Really well played. Should definitely do it every time. He's not greeding on the tower, why? He could just E and pick up the tower, or he wants the... Oh, he wants the tower to deny the cannon first, right? He wants the tower to deny more, and then he wants to last it in. He even backed off in case somebody collapses on him because the whole map was missing. But he could just also push the tower and deny this wave to the next one, no? Because I feel like Jax wouldn't respawn until this goes under tower, but I'm not 100% sure what to tell you guys. Really well played from his part, right? W? Good. He will get out. Q, 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 Q. No? He has to fight. He has to fight. He has to fight W. Oh my god, extremely well played. He even W the karma for more shield, right? Limp. Oh, you. He tried. He tried, but like so many people, 4 people on top lane, it's just really hard to deal with all those people, right? Like, definitely well played from his part, because his team gets Drake meantime, right? So definitely there is value out of killing the enemy Rengar. Also, Kalista just gets to bully the Katarina for free and then maybe push a bit the tower, so... From this point, he could also get just Foresight, honestly. I don't know about the CSGO ads, because I don't really play the game at all, you know? And like, who would care about renting, like, for free a knife? For 1 week only. Picks up the CS. Okay. Okay, he's looking to trade. He ults that? Really? Oh. Oh, yes. He gets out. Perfect. Yeah, the Kane picks it up, right? Mm-hmm. That's like one of my worst nightmares, to miss my ultimate and get under the enemy tower on Yone, because that fucks you up, like, really badly. He commits, right? He tries to get more value out of his E, but he sidesteps. Oh no! I thought actually he needs to walk to that area, right? To the left, but apparently it just goes to the left. Okay. Okay, so he picks up the Herald, or no, he doesn't have to greet, he gets his Infinity rather. than like forcing her out, right? He doesn't have to greed. Definitely gonna buy that dance right now. They have almost a full AD team. Like Katarina has some AP damage, but she goes Divine as well. They have Rengar Jax, they have Asriel. Karma has some level of AP damage, but Katarina as behind she is. Her AP damage doesn't matter too much, especially because she builds AD. Karma doesn't matter too much, her AP damage. She has like healing kit, you know, Yone, so it doesn't really matter much. So basically focusing out their armor, out their AD champions with armor is really good. Okay, now he's fishing for kills apparently. He could just also split push against Jax, which usually doesn't really happen, but since how ahead he is over Jax, he can just split push against him, exhaust, ult up right, he has his escape as well. Like generally you don't wanna do it, but it's fine if the good thing is like most of the Jax players will get too overconfident in this matchup and they will think it's an automatic win, but if you take exhaust and you outplay him in some ways, you can actually beat him, right? So it's not really an auto win. I didn't even know Yone gets a lethal tempo stacks auto if he Qs Jax Z. Like as I know he gets a Q stack, didn't know if he gets a lethal tempo one. But apparently he does, and it's definitely okay if you go for it because basically it allows you to get another Q up after his E expires and after he stuns, right? So your next Q will be up, which is a knock up, so it's like really good. Okay, he just picks up him up. Oh, couldn't sidestep, okay. He just couldn't sidestep. What are these ads though? Like I never get this many ads. Do they know I'm filming and they want free promotion? That's it. Not even like a really good drink in here. This is like an orange juice. Oh. Okay, so he's just sitting around, you know, he's not trying to commit too deeply. People may gonna cover Jack, so he's not really trying to trade or poke, he's just sitting around. That's why he's not really like fighting Jax, right? It's really good to know when to not non-stop fight, right? He is that, right? Well, ults, perfect. So he ults the Jax because he can Q away, right? So watch out, he usually ults the Jax when Jax has no Q, right? Or when Jax is, right? So he got ignited, Jax ulted, they rotated for him, but his team gets a mid wave, so that's definitely good for him. Also he gets a chain vest, he gets a pickaxe, he gonna be a bit more tanky, a bit more damage, so he gets his pickaxe of course, he gets his Scowfield, he wants Scowfield, because it gives like 10 more cooldown. I guess cooldown is not that bad on your E and ult, right? Now pickaxe is a bit cheaper, but it doesn't matter too much because they provide the same thing and he does not really have more item space, so it's kinda whatever. It just builds into the same item anyways. So. Okay. Okay, his teammates pick up everything like this. Basically from this point of the game it's just kinda over for... Yep. Talina is around apparently for some random reason. She dies? Yep, he dies. Commits, he would. He misses, it's fine. Oh, he flashes as well. He sidestep. Oh, he couldn't sidestep. He Qs. He... that's a bit fucky. Yeah, it's a bit fucky. Alright, but he gets his dead dance, so it's fine, right? Alright. He oh the stream lagged a tiny bit. You're getting his foresight. Okay. So team's picking up Baron. Even if Yone is not there, you know, like it's 14 to 39, so like it's so hard for them to ever contest, you know, so you're just getting, you know, like people are defing the base, like it's not likely they're gonna contest it, right? And soon they will probably just FF, you know, like from this point we kinda know the outcome of the game. People are not really like forcing in these ranks, like it's really good to not surrender, it's definitely good to not give up the game, but it's really good to recognize when it's most likely waste of time, because the likeliness is so low on a win, then it's better to get into a better game instead of trying to like push and push yourself through a really bad one, which is like 90% of the times you're gonna lose it, right? Because in Challenger, for example, if people have such a big lead, then what's gonna eventually happen, like people are not throwing it that often, right, in these ranks, so like if you're silver, probably even if you're really behind, you don't really wanna FF that much, but in higher ranks, you should definitely aim to FF when it's when you feel like the enemy team just gonna uh, win the game. But they have just such an insane lead, which is really hard to like throw, right? So that's my opinion. Like this game could be like few minutes shorter, right? But it doesn't matter too much, right? If they wanna play it out, then play it out, right?